I don't know who that is.
Hey, Harris?
We'd like to show you the visual effects before closing, because some more people came in closing with the trailer. But the visual effects are very interesting, all done by computer. That's a wrap right there.
Speeds.
Action! Action! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cut! Ready? Cut! Ready!
works.
Okay, yeah. How does she go back and forth with the portal again?
I don't know. She found a way. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Hold that over a flashlight.
Go ahead.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Pretty cool.
So that's the visual facts. And that last part you hear is the actual score from the film. We have our composer here, Vasilis Moesis.
Very nice.
Can turn on the lights. As you can see, all the burns healed perfectly. It's like it never happened. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Yes.
I would like, for him and for you, Russell, for the actors and for the director, how was the experience with Robert Picardo? How is him? And I know that he is collaborated several times with you. What is the relationship? And you as an actor, if he is an easy person to work with,
Yeah. No, he was a pleasure. He really was. He came on. He knew we were both, starting off. We were both kind of new to filmmaking, and he came in and he presented himself very well, and he treated us very, very, very well. He went over the screenplay with us, his scenes especially, and we kind of read through them, and he came in and he just kind of showed his experience, and he really taught us a lot while we were there, for sure.
Because when this kind of people,
Yeah,
have all
he has so much experience, exactly.
New actors and new directors or something.
Yeah, no, he was humble. He was very kind, very, very kind man. Oh yeah, very, very nice.
Well, you see, you asked me the question. Yeah, we worked with Bob 5 times, but the real reason I worked with Bob is this man.
Really?
Bob and I were introduced, and we worked on our first film together, PJ, and subsequently Chasing Green and Legends of Mathia, and it was just a natural for this. I'm ashamed to say I didn't even think of Bob Picardo, immediately. The writer had gone and looked at our YouTube videos, and when we had lunch, she said, I'd love to work with you guys, and maybe we can get Robert Picardo to play the professor. And it just like, it's like a V8 moment. I hadn't thought of it. So, yeah, I said, I'll give him a call, and I gave him a call, and he was down for it. Well, think about working with Bob after, 5 times. I kind of know what to expect from him. So, in regards with Michael and Brianna, working with them, I knew he would want to, rehearse with them beforehand. And I knew that he would want to do it while he was in makeup and wardrobe, because he had done that before. So I told our first assistant director, Clifford Brakefield, who does the scheduling, I told him, bring in Michael, bring in Brianna early. Just bring them in. Yeah, they're not on screen, but bring them in, because Bob is going to want to work with them. And guess what? Bob did work with them. It did happen. And guess what? He did tweak dialogue, because that's what he does. He's very good at doing that, to make the most natural performance. And I think we shot Bob Picardo's scenes first, and he's on this webcam. You saw me mention that he's on a Skype video. Well, he's basically on a Skype video. So they're not physically interacting with each other with Annie and Neil Curtis, but it has to come across as if they're talking to each other. So I had all 3 actors together when they were doing the scenes. And if I remember, the room was so tiny that you and Brianna were in the closet.
Yeah, we were. Luckily, it was a walk-in, or else it would have been.
So it was very tiny, and if you notice in that scene, I was outside of that room, because there wasn't enough room for me to be in there. So they had to set up the Video Village monitor. It's the monitor that the director looks at.
outside, right directly outside. I had to literally scream at you guys in order to, find out if, you needed direction or whatnot.
But
Yeah.
it was nice to have that first because we filmed, after Bob left, we filmed our scene. We took our coverage a couple of days later, so it was really refreshing to kind of go through the moments and go through the lines and try to catch his moments when we're presenting our lines, our dialogue, so it was nice.
And also, we could use Bob's lines as a guide track to help you and Brianna, and that's what ended up happening. Our DP, Emil Harris, who Emil is a very wonderful guy. I mean, he and I have worked together since like 2002, but without his cinematography and his editing, I don't think the film would have turned out the way it has. So
He's a brilliant guy.
He's a brilliant editor, he is.
So that's the Picardo.
And the last thing, one question for Vasilis. What was your inspiration in the dramatic scenes? I mean, since it has this bipolarity, the good and the bad, whatever, what was your inspiration when he and her were appearing in this drama?
But before Vasilis answers, I just want you to know, look, we're screening the film tomorrow. We're screening it 3 times, and I know people here have not seen the film. I understand that. So what we're talking about right now is kind of like probably going over everybody's head. It would go over my head. But if you are available for the screening, we have a screening tomorrow at 5:15. I think in the room over there, just adjacent to here. And then Robert Picardo himself will be here on Sunday, I think in this room, just after the award ceremony. And that's at 5 o'clock. And then we have a 3rd screening on July 4th. Of course, everybody's going to be here on July 4th, right? Right, who cares about the fireworks? But we'll be here, it's at noon, and that's our 3rd screening. So just FYI, that's number 1. Number 2, the reason I mentioned that is because in regards to the music, I am very particular on music, and I told Vasilis this. I grew up on the music of, and you may know this, John Williams, James Horner, Jerry Goldsmith. Very instrumental in my upbringing. And I went to USC Cinema. And USC Cinema is the school of blockbuster films. And I grew up on those types of films. So, I mean, I'm very happy John Williams is still composing music. So, the reason I mentioned that, is because when I approached this film, I had a music arc. Same thing with character arcs. The composer was the emotional arc to this film. So you had an Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And the way I approached it, since it's a found footage film, is when you started it, there was no music. And the music is slowly brought in, the dramatic music. And by the end of it, it's wall-to-wall music. So with that said, Vasilis, go ahead.
First of all, I was just informed that it took you like 2 weeks to finish the movie, right? Yeah. Okay. I had like 3 months to compose the music, so I was really fortunate for that. I had a lot of time. So I also brought my elements of inspiration, which is Hans Zimmer, one of my favorite composers, and I had to combine orchestral elements with PC elements, with computer elements. And as for the question, I don't know if you noticed, guys, and I don't want to do spoilers, and I'm not going to. But I try to adjust an instrument to every character. So I used piano for a female actor and cello for our actor here. And for the dramatic scenes, I try to combine them with orchestral elements, with more intense orchestration. So this is what I did.
Well, we're going to wrap up now, but we're going to be hanging around here for a little while, so if anyone has any other questions, we'll be here for a few minutes. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, feel free to ask, please.
How about the name? Occupants. How about the name?
Occupants? That was the writer's idea.